everybody. All right, so I put together some material and drills to practice for vault. So I broke it into 3 different sections. I broke the vault down into, the first one is the run. Without your run, you're not gonna have any speed, momentum to get you up and over that vault table or the mat to do the skill at the end that you need to do. So your run is so important. It's gonna create that momentum. When you run, you wanna make sure that, one, you're using your arms, you're running and pushing through those toes, driving those knees up in front of you, and then driving those heels back once you actually do push through those toes. So the run is so important. The other most important thing about the run is making sure that it's accelerating down the runway. So meaning it's getting faster, you're building your speed as you approach that board. The second part of the vault, I broke it, or I made it into the second part, but it's technically 2 different skills. It's your hurdle and then it's your punch. I combine these because when we do those drills, the hurdle leads into that strong punch. The hurdle is what's gonna get you to punch down on that board. So the run is what gets you into a strong hurdle. The hurdle is what gets you to punch down into the board, and then the punch down into the board is what allows you then to follow through into the skill that you're achieving. So with the hurdle, we wanna make sure that those knees drive, or the good knee drives up in front of us, and then we're really punching those feet down slightly in front of us onto that board when we actually hit it. When we leave the board, or when we leave that punch, we want to make sure that then our toes are leaving, we're extending through the knees, okay? So we take the maximum amount of power that board is giving us, and then using that heel drive off the board to get us into the skill. And lastly, I broke it down into your blocks and your shapes. Because we don't actually have the vault, we can't really work our straight jumps up, or our handstands, or our handstand flops, or our front handsprings. So what I did was I broke the block down, and then I broke the shapes down, or what I did was I took the shape of a handstand or a straight body, and I gave us a couple drills to practice. When we get back to the gym, it makes it easier for us to jump in. So hopefully this all makes sense. We're gonna start with the run, we're gonna move into drills for the hurdle and the punch, and then we're gonna move into drills for blocking and shaping and handstand vaults. Okay, so I am going to get started on the run first. All right, so the first one we're gonna do is arm pumps. I make my team girls do this, their first thing they do. As soon as they get to vault, they have a little, I call it a complex, that they have to do every single time they get there. It's pretty much just to warm them up. It's to get them thinking, how are they supposed to use their arms when they run? What are they supposed to do when they run? So they have a whole bunch of little drills, and like I said, I call it a complex for them to warm up to get ready to vault. So the first one, like I said, is arm pumps. Sorry if I have to move the camera around. I want to make sure you guys see it as much as possible. And once again, I am doing this from my house, and I'm kind of embarrassed as a gym owner and a gymnast for my whole entire life, because my house literally does not have one piece of gymnastics equipment. I tend to bring everything to the gym so that everybody can use it. So in this time of need, when I needed some things that most of you probably have at home, I don't even have. So like I said, this is meant to be so that you can do it at home, outside. You don't really need a gym. Just use things around your house, which is what you're gonna see me doing. It's a little embarrassing, but it's okay. All right, so I hope this motivates all you guys. All right, so here's the first one, is arm pumps. You're gonna sit in a pike, okay? I'm gonna turn this way a little bit so you can see me better. And what you're doing is you're literally just pumping your arms back and forth like you would want to run. So you want to make sure that those arms are driving back, the elbows driving back and up, and then that hand is scooping down forward, okay? You're gonna make this, you can do it slow, and then the goal is to hopefully you start getting a little bounce into it. It kind of seems funny, but you can even make it a little bit of a race. So maybe you and mom, or you and dad, or you and sister or brother, you can actually start doing like butt scoots, because if you do it fast enough, you'll get yourself to move. Okay, and it is kind of an exercise. Another one I just thought about as I was doing that actually was if you have a resistance band, so something like this, something that's stretchy, you can actually do, I call them like back arm punches. So normally it would be against a surface, But what you're gonna do is you're gonna try and pull and have the resistance pulling your arms back into the mat. So there's a couple different ways you can do it. Hopefully that makes sense though. But anything that's stretchy, that's gonna make it a little bit harder. If this is too easy, or if you've done the race already and you wanna work a little bit more arms, that's another way to practice those arm pumps with a little bit of extra resistance or something that's making it harder for you to do. All right, going into the second one. I don't really have an exact name for it. I'm just gonna call them knee into walking arm pumps. So it's pretty much getting that knee to drive up and making sure that you're in opposition, so different leg to the different arm pumps. So it's gonna look like this. I'm gonna step away. You're gonna do it both good and bad side, so you're literally just walking. So you're gonna get down, make sure the knee or the leg that is up, you have the opposite arm. So right now I have my left knee down and I have my right arm in front, and we're gonna come up and switch back down, keep that arm up and switch back down, up and switch back down. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about when I say knee walking arm pumps. Is really just a slow motion to get that knee driving up. It's a good little exercise for your quads, and it's also gonna work that opposition of the arms. Sorry, you're gonna hear Ryan a couple times. All right, next one is simple high knees. I'm gonna take it from slow to fast. So first, I'm just gonna have you guys march. Don't even use the arms, just march, high knees, drive those knees up. Make sure you're getting those knees up. You're kind of pinching right here in the hip flexor, okay? Then what I want you to do is then take it slow and add the opposition of the arms. Okay, so then once you take it from here, opposition, then you can actually start to add more of a run. Make sure you have the opposition of the arms, and then you can either do it standing or you can do it in motion. The point of high knees or butt kickers is more about the movement and the push up, and not so much of the speed coming forward right now. So you almost want to stay in one spot. Sorry, she wants me to change the channel. Okay, now we're gonna go into butt kickers done the same way. So we wanna get those heels to our butt. So we're getting a quick push through our toes and drive off the floor. Then you also want to then add the arms. Once again, opposition, getting the elbow, driving back, hands scooping up and forward. Then you can take it into more of a jog. Once again, making sure you have opposition of arms, and once again, I'm doing this in place, but then you can always take it to moving. Okay, so that's how I want you to go through butt kickers. Once again, with high knees, butt kickers, you wanna make sure any type of jogging ones like that, you're really pushing through those toes, okay? That's the point of most of those drills, are really to get yourself pushing and quick off the floor. Next, we are going into what I call deer runs. I'm pretty sure almost every gym calls them deer runs, but what you're doing is you are driving that knee up in front while this back leg is going to kick back, keeping it straight and driving the heel up and back, okay? So I'm gonna kind of do it towards you. So if I do it, it's gonna look like that. I'm trying to do it more in place. That one you are gonna move. You probably can do it like I did, a little bit in place, but you're gonna kind of move on that one. So that's a deer run. Always make sure that we're doing it with both legs, even though we have a dominant side, whether you're a lefty, like I'm a lefty in gymnastics. And that's the leg I'm actually gonna hurdle with when I vault, but we wanna make sure that we're getting both legs just as strong. Then after, I have sprint, which is run as fast as you can. All right, so we're on sprint, so running as fast as you can. Then I have make it into a race. So either time yourself and try and get faster every single time you time yourself, or race somebody. Honestly, I stole this from a different coach. From her videos, her vault videos are awesome. That's where I was getting a lot of my material from, and where I normally get a lot of my material from when I'm looking for new things, or maybe new ways to give my kids corrections, because sometimes one way that I give it is not the best way for that child or for whoever I'm coaching. So sometimes I try and just watch videos so that I can find a different way to explain it to maybe one of my gymnasts that aren't really getting it. So that's always something that you guys can do too. So if you go to practice one day and you're like, I don't really understand what Miss Taryn's telling me, and maybe for some reason you were too nervous to say to the coach, can you explain it a different way? Well, then if you need to, and if mom and dad say it's okay, make sure that you go onto YouTube and sometimes just search different things. Maybe a way that another coach is coaching is going to be able to help you. But never be nervous to ask any one of our Infinity coaches, or any coach out there is always wanting to help you, all of you, learn. So make sure that you're not nervous to just ask the coach if you don't understand. Be like, coach, you're crazy. I don't know what you mean. Okay? Trust me, my girls know to just tell me that at this point. All right. So racing, so get outside and run. So that was where I was getting to with this. The best advice we can give you guys to practice runs for vault is to just get outside and run. Practice running. Love running. I don't really love running so much. I liked it for vault and for tumbling. I'm definitely a short distance runner. But just practice running. It's the best thing for you to do. Get out there, race people, make it fun, make it a game. The other thing we do, and we do this a lot at my gym. A lot of my coaches do this one. The kids love it. Sometimes we make it a race. Sometimes we just make it a station. Sometimes we make it conditioning. But it's finding an object. So normally at the gym, we would use a mat, like a folded mat. Here, I think I'm going to use a basket that slides easily on my wood floor. You always want to make sure, but you're pretty much going to run. You're gonna dig down into that floor and you're gonna push that object. So I'm gonna kind of show, you're gonna kind of see me come past. So like I said, I'm just gonna use something like this because it slides easily. Most of the time you want it to be something a little bit heavier, so that you're really getting the resistance and you're really making those legs dig down into that floor. But pretty much you're just gonna run, push, and okay. So it's really getting you to dig down into those toes and push those heels back so you can get off that floor faster. Then agility runs. I have to set up a couple pieces of, I think I'm gonna use weights. So these are just quick in and out runs. So sometimes we use cones at the gym, sometimes we use bean bags. It's just, sometimes we just use arrows, sometimes we just use circles on the ground. I don't even have a circle at my house. So they're just quick runs in and out. Okay, a lot of sports use these. I call them agility runs. Make sure whatever you're using is safe. And mom and dad are saying it's okay to use. I'll just use 3 of them with the space that I have right now. So you're just gonna run around, quick, in, out, and then I even sometimes go backwards. Make sure when you're going backwards, you know where they are, and you're walking around them. Or you can even just go down, quick, push, and then turn back around. Quick, push, okay? Once again, just getting you to move, getting those legs moving, pushing off those toes, using the arms, all that good stuff. Okay, and the last thing that I have for the run, it's kind of a combination of vault in general and just kind of like simple gymnastics in general, but it is a good one to practice, is squat to lever. I'm just gonna use this box, and you're squatting and driving the heel up, squatting and driving the heel up. And that's all the drills I have for runs. So we're going to be moving on to the hurdle and the punch drills. All right.